Hello and good morning and welcome to the Wrestling Corner episode 28, sorry, and it's a go home shows for SummerSlam. Well, it is for Monday Night Raw. But yeah, we've got SummerSlam. We've got a lot of stuff this weekend. We've got SummerSlam 2020 on Sunday. We've got NXT Takeover on Saturday. We've got WWE Thunderdome on Friday. There's a lot of stuff going on. But as always, I'm joined by my co-host Simon. How are you today?
Yeah, doing all right. Wrestling's been it's been an all right week, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been quite mediocre,
Yeah.
I'd say. But we'll go straight into it with AEW. Show opened up. It was Tag Team Appreciation Night, and it opened up with a tag team match: the Young Bucks versus the Dark Order. Young Bucks pick up a win. It was roll up. I think the Dark Order probably should have won this just because with Brody Lee going for the TNT belt, I feel like it was sort of would have made sense if the Dark Order won this, just to sort of put Brody Lee in a better standpoint.
Yeah, I can't. I've got no idea. Hang on, I'm still firing up my notes. I've got it here. Right. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of Dark Order getting beat because I felt like they were coming off quite a strong win the week before.
Yeah.
I feel like they've got to win these kinds of ones if they want to be not taken seriously as a proper threat. But I don't know. Private Party is still reeling from beating the Young Bucks all those months ago. Do you know what I mean? It stays with you.
Yeah. Private Party, I don't think they've really. Yeah. They were at one point they were the hottest tag team in the division. I feel like they're not that.
No,
they're not up there again.
They've not. I say they haven't kicked on. It's just too crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we had MJF. He was on a campaign trail. He was stood in the ring with the podium. Basically, he was just mocking John Moxley. Moxley comes out. Like the music hits. MJF's looking around the upper arena bowl, commanding his campaign team to protect him. Or as everyone goes, Moxley comes to the top of the ramp, attacks MJF. Moxley gets the upper hand.
He does. Yeah, I really like the camera shots. The overhead ones.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd kind of stayed on that, but it just saddens me that this isn't in front of a crowd.
I know.
It's just because
the heat.
Half of the fun with MJF is the crowd reaction to him, and it doesn't work when it's just all the AEW wrestlers just booing him, because like they'll give the same amount of boos to MJF as they will someone like, I don't know, Santana and Ortiz. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a real crowd might cheer Santana and Ortiz because they're cool, but everyone boos MJF.
Yeah,
and it flattens him out a little bit. But the stuff he's doing is really good.
It is him. If there were a crowd in like the past couple of weeks of what MJF's done, we'd be talking about him as the best wrestler currently, because he can just gain us so much natural heat. He's the same as Randy Orton, where he can do the smallest thing and he will get boos immediately. And I think it's such a shame. I think you probably should have waited off, but because you built MJF up a bit and they're going by this like record wins, MJF has to be there in that division, unless MJF comes up with an excuse. But
yeah, I just keep telling myself that the crowd reaction will be bigger and better than ever when we do get back to normal. But for now, you've got to grin and bear it.
Yeah, just work your way through it. Then we did have the TNT match. Cody coming out with the entire Nightmare family, putting online against Scorpio Sky. The legendary referee was Mike Chioda.
Yeah, I like Mike Chioda.
And I feel like they talk about, you get involved with WWE guys. This doesn't feel like it.
He elevates the product.
Yeah.
It's different because it wasn't about him. He was there to enhance the match.
Yeah.
As a referee should be.
Yeah. Scorpio Sky kicked the match ended with a Cody win after 2 crossroads, but Scorpio Sky did kick out of one. and so Cody had to get 2 crossroads. Scorpio
I can't
Sky
believe
seemed like a valiant babyface.
I can't believe people actually thought Scorpio Sky were going to win.
I don't know that because he had that part when it was challenging. Was it Jericho?
I know. Yeah, I know. This is the story that's being told in terms of Cody just wins every week, gets too confident, and then eventually someone will come along and
Yeah, I know.
I think it'll be Brody Lee, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I am getting a little bit worn down by it now. I don't
Same, just
know.
because they do so good at I try to find the way, so good at hyping up these matches. So I'm like, oh, then you just realise, well, Cody's not going to drop it in a
Yeah,
random dynamite.
AEW's promotion of stuff is really good, and it gets you excited, and then it comes to it, and you're
Yeah,
just a bit like, oh.
they could have done so much more with this. I think maybe have a DQ finish in Scorpio Sky singer, but because Scorpio Sky loses, he loses all that all that positivity that he got from the hype products and stuff like that. That he just slows his momentum down even more.
Yeah, it's a bit, especially because it was a story that I've been building for about a month, and then it was just
Yeah,
over within about 10 minutes, and then on to the next one. Hello, Brody Lee.
I like the Brody Lee's challenging. I think that's nice. Dark Order can really build up the stock. I just feel like these open challenges are going to get. I think they've already got quite stale, but you've had some surprises. I think it's going to get even more stale now, just because there's another there'll be other promotion going on for the belt. So if a challenger doesn't he's not part of the Dark Order or something, it doesn't make sense.
It needs to come off Cody this week.
He does. I think it's
Saturday
the
night.
time he's done great with the belt.
Yeah.
Have your first big title change. Well, not first big title, but get that belt to change hands. Brody Lee runs right and he completely switches up. Not defending it, he'll just send his minions out. And then eventually he will legally have to defend it and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't matter how much
Yeah.
shenanigans are involved. It's time for Cody to.
It's time to go.
Yeah, I would say it's time to go, but that's not the right word. But yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Then we did have Kenny and Hangman Page. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page always put them together. Versus Jurassic Express with the belts on the line. Very good match. Really good match. I enjoyed this. The champs obviously pinned Jungle Boy with the last call, but shot Lariat V Trigger. Kenny getting the pin, but Luchasaurus is class in it.
Yeah, it were all right. I'm not particularly high on either of these two. And again, I know it's ridiculous to say because the Omega Page stuff is the best story in wrestling. And I honestly think there's too many little nuances for me to just take in at a time when I'm struggling. At a time when I'm not particularly thrilled with wrestling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I really like Kenny Omega. He's got the best theme in AEW. I've come to the definite
Hangman
conclusion.
Page. Hangman Page's theme, it's got such a good build up. And it fits with his gimmick, the cowboy gimmick, the ding, ding.
It's Omega.
Cody's as well. You can't say that Cody Rhodes isn't the best.
Yeah, but a wrestler's theme is only as good as what they're doing at this current time.
No, because there's been.
Like last year, I was loving Cody's theme. Right now, no, I can't deal with it because it just reminds me of the TNT Open Challenge. Cody wins. Lol.
No, Cedric Alexander. I'm not a fan of Cedric Alexander, but his theme song is a banger.
Is it?
Yeah, after doing the tier list for themes, I went through and listened to all of them if I didn't remember them. And Cedric Alexander was one I was like, I can't remember.
Used to dream I had a dog.
And now it's time, and I will let go. It is great.
Nah.
Cedric Alexander theme is a banger. We'll go back to the actual proper wrestling. Young Bucks FTR in the ring.
The Tokens women's match.
That's not even.
Hikaru Shida got a whole. Did she get a whole 3 words at the end?
Is that what it was? I
yeah,
didn't see.
It were. Have you not seen this?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Hikaru Shida versus Heather Monroe. Heather Monroe might have been. Falcon Arrow win. Tony Schiavone's at the top of the ramp. Shida says she's ready for anybody. That's you lot. But she goes, I'm ready. Awesome. It was very roll of the eyes.
Yeah. We did have the Young Bucks and FTR.
I was going to say, have you watched this week's women's tag thing?
I didn't watch it. I know the result. Not the results, but...
Yeah, well, I say I watched it. I had it on 1.5 speed, which for wrestling is basically not watching it.
Was it last night?
Yeah. It's every Monday.
Was it Big Swole and Low Swole versus Tainara Conti and Anna Jay?
No, it were the Swoles versus Nightmare Sisters, and then
Right.
Tainara and Anna Jay against Evilise and Diamante.
Who won?
Evilise and Diamante.
Oh, they won.
Nightmare Sisters. Of course, Brandy wins, lol.
Jesus.
Yeah, quite. The live chat was hilarious when Brandy got the 3 count.
For God's sake. It's one problem they're running the risk with, because Brandy's gonna get hit. You've already seen she's deactivated Twitter. If you book her to win, fair enough. They are the only tag team, like legitimately, that you've seen on TV. The problem is, she's Cody's wife, and regardless of if she was a good wrestler or she got over on her own, it would still be there, unfortunately, for her.
It's not half, but it's bearable because her character now is quite egotistical. Because she forces the ring announcer Shao Guerrero to announce her as the only woman in AEW to have her own action figure. Brandy, roll.
I like that.
So it is kayfabe.
Yeah, but the still go is going to be hit. Unfortunately,
it's not for me.
Yeah, but we had the Young Bucks and FTR in the ring for the Rock and Roll Express and the Tully and Anne and Tully for Tag Team Appreciation Night. So it was more of FTR just saying like, they get to make a living as professional wrestlers because of Tully and Anne and Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton said the Young Bucks brought back tag team wrestling the way we used to do it. You are the top tag team in the world of your generation. And then Anne Anderson pointed to the Young Bucks and said, you've made tag team wrestling something entirely different, elevating it to a whole different level. My hat's off to you. Then he pointed to FDR and said, this is the best tag team in the world. Tully grabbed the microphone from Ricky Morton and he said, neither the Young Bucks nor the FDR are the greatest because they don't have tag team gold right now. He turned to Ann Anderson and pointed at his chest and the American Nightmare logo on Ann's uniform. I don't understand that. I said, I'm a grown-ass man. Sean Spears made his way down to the ramp, and I said, I see what's going on here. All makes sense. It was like Cody, Sean, Tully, Anne. Anne was about to move when Tully and Ricky Morton got into it and a melee broke out. FTR attacked Robert Gibson, whacking him with Dax's knee brace. Then FTR impaled Ricky Morton with a spiked pile driver. The Young Bucks and then the tag team champs Kenny and Hangman Page came down to the ring to the defense of Ricky and Robert. You know what? Yeah. Regardless of anything, the Rock and Roll Express are great. They're still wrestling now.
Yeah. It was all right, but it was like a positive all right in my book. Like it wasn't like it was all right. Like it was all right. It was fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this is just the tool that I personally need to be asked about FTR because they are better as heels and not indifferent tweeners. Yeah, this gives them a bit of edge. So, yeah, all for it.
All by myself for it.
And more importantly, it was using the stars of yesteryear to enhance the stars of today.
Yeah, and
which is something everyone needs to be reminded of.
That's it. The guys didn't put themselves over the older guys. They used their standing. We had the main event. It was a $7,000 obligation match. Jericho versus Cassidy. Inner Circle and Best Friends were banned. Mike Yoder was the referee. I think the feud needs to end. For me personally.
Yeah, I didn't care. How do I not care about?
Orange got the roll up and stuff like that, but yeah.
Yeah, Jericho botched the pin. Do you think he looks a bit kind of sluggish and just a bit?
Yeah,
Do you think it's time for him to think about wrapping it up?
He's definitely not at that point that he was in. I think with Jericho, the problem is in the past couple of years he hasn't had the best figure like he normally has, but he's always wrestled to quite a high. He's used his like physical standing to his actual. I feel like now it is slowing him down.
Yeah, I feel. I don't know. The thing is, I think the thing is with Jericho, because he knows he can't work at the rate he used to, he relies far more on his character and audience interaction to get him through matches.
Yeah.
But when there's no crowd,
Yeah,
you've got to rely on that ability.
For me, Jericho would be still great if he retired from the ring, but he was just there, not the manager, but would still be the leader of the inner circle, but he'd never wrestle. And he could still be this cocky thing. He could go, "Oh yeah, I'm unbeaten," but when he's actually like retired and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think this is just this. I think this has got to be the start of him now. Sort of maybe part time in a bit. Even Orange Cassidy, I feel like, has been flattened out.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't name Orange Cassidy in the list of my favourite AEW wrestlers.
No, I think this feud has gone on for a while. It's gone for like 2 feud cycles. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think that.
Well, this is it's done now. Yeah, it's just.
I think you're just running the risk of
it was
getting
underwhelming.
Stale. But
overall,
yeah, that was AEW. It wasn't an amazing episode, but wasn't rubbish. Again, it was just middle of the pack. I think with AEW, they either really need a pay-per-view or they need something. Because currently, for me, NXT is blown out of the water. Not blown out of the water, but NXT.
I'm really enjoying NXT a lot more. I'm not fickle between, and I'm not just going to back one promotion to the death. I did enjoy NXT this week, but obviously the one angle at the end did make me go, but we'll come on to that. And to those listening, yes, I did watch NXT this week.
He finally watched it. Also, for someone been watching, did you play cricket this weekend, or is it still off?
No, we played both days. One, lost one. We played on Sunday in the rain, and it was shit.
Because I'm about to say, because I live right by a cricket pitch, and I swear they were playing, so I was like, Simon must be playing now.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to NXT. Showed up, Karrion Kross defeating Danny Burch, and then quite convincingly, and then signed a contract to face Keith Lee. So he signs a contract. Keith Lee comes out. The contract's there. Lee picks it up, and just a fireball attacks Keith Lee in the face. And medical attention immediately. What was your opinion on the fireball?
Yeah. I can't believe I'm doing NXT. This is great. Right, the fireball. Yeah, Karrion Kross, Danny Burch. Oh, Karrion Kross is just the entrance. I feared it would become repetitive after the first few times. Nope. Wrong. I love Danny Burch coming out, getting into the ring straight away, just going, I want to, you know what I mean? Let me fight.
Yeah, it's
ring
a
the bell. Yeah, well, I can remember a lot about NXT. I watched it last night in full, unlike Raw. The fireball, even though I knew it was coming, it still took me by surprise. Because I like Scarlett and Karrion Kross just sort of sinisterly looking down the ramp, and there's the contract, and I don't know whether Scarlett's got magic powers.
Yeah, I was
or
confused.
whether it was put there.
Have they got special powers? Or yeah, that's the one thing that I struggle with to understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And to be honest, I'm not really bothered. So long as it's the part of the fun about Karrion Kross and Scarlett is a bit of the mystery.
Yeah, the spookiness.
So you don't really need to tell me.
No. I liked it. I really did like it. I thought it was fun, and yeah, it builds hype up for the match. Which obviously you would want.
Yeah. Roll on Takeover.
Roll on Takeover next week.
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Think about Drake Maverick and Killian Dane ending in a no contest. So backstage, you saw Keith Lee being escorted out to a thing. You see the Undisputed Era arrive just after that. Then we go back to the ring. Maverick and Killian Dane are in there. Then basically the Undisputed Era decimate Maverick and Dane before Cole just basically issues a challenge to Pat McAfee to come to NXT next week on the Go Home show, so tomorrow.
Killian Dane's low down the order, isn't he?
He is, and for me, it's just sad how far he's come.
How low he's got. Well, not how low, but I mean, apart from feeling sorry for Killian, like I'm not his biggest fan, but I can see that there's money to be made there. But
for sure.
the Undisputed Era promo was really good. I don't think it had to come at the expense of Maverick and Dane because it just made them look. Because even Drake, just go back a couple of months. Look at the wave of momentum Drake Maverick was riding, and all that's happened since is he's been clobbered by Legado del Fantasma, who are my favourite thing in WWE, alongside Cameron Grimes and Killian Dane. So yeah.
I would prefer this if, let's say, a hype package was played for SummerSlam, and then he just gets cut off by Adam Cole in the ring, saying, "Stop that broadcast." And then instead of just ruining two wrestlers, I think it works if they just interrupt a promo, like a hype package or something. What is your thoughts on Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee? Obviously, it's a tough thing to sort of talk about in terms of he's not a wrestler.
I think the angle was quite well executed. I don't know. I still don't know what to make of it, and I don't think I'm going to know what to make of it until it's done.
Yeah.
I'm not actively against it, but I don't want Pat McAfee going toe to toe with Adam Cole.
So I've been watching. So I said that I think he brings numbers in. He does all right YouTube numbers. He does like not WWE numbers, but he does decent, like 30K per clip. His podcast, his live show. He's got a live show. I think he promotes it, which is something you sometimes don't get from a guest surprise match. Every week he's on his every episode of his podcast, his live show, he's talking about his match against Adam Cole and how he's going to decimate him. But
yeah, I think because a lot of the celebs look like they're there for the paycheck, whereas I feel like Pat McAfee's really enjoying this.
Well, he's a
and he knows about wrestling.
Yeah, and you've seen it when he's online, when he's appeared on the shows. He gets wrestling. He knows how to be that cocky heel, which sounds so stupid for someone who's probably going to be a face.
He's just a Twitter troll come to life. No, he's not. No, Adam Cole's the face here.
Is it?
Are you telling me the babyface is the man who got punt kicked with his arms behind his... Isn't the man... Yeah, the babyface is the man who punt kicked a man with his arms tied behind his back when he was on commentary.
Fair play, yeah. I understand. That makes sense.
But then Adam Cole invading the match isn't a babyface move. But then again, he's not really a noble babyface. He just wants to kick Pat McAfee's ass.
Yeah, this is a match I'm looking forward to because I think Pat's gonna. I've seen like the videos of him in training in his ring in his office. I think he's invested, and you know what? When you've got a special match, investment is probably the biggest thing with celebrities. And so, celebrities, I think I'm looking forward to it. I am. It'd be interesting to see what they do this Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we had the NXT Cruiserweight Champion Santos Escobar defeating Tyler Breeze in a non-title match. Really like Tyler Breeze. There's something about him. I don't know, but yeah, it was all about Lagana's del Fantasma.
Yeah, I mean, because I never comment on NXT and I skim over 205 Live. I've never really spoken about Legado del Fantasma. Oh, they're so good. They've got the theme. The theme is really just perfect.
I haven't actually heard it yet.
Have you not?
I've listened to it.
Legado del Fantasma's theme is perfect, but you kind of got to watch it with the full entrance.
Legado
he comes out, so Escobar comes out, and then when sort of the beat kicks in, Mendoza and Wilde join him from either side, and it's just really cool. Escobar has got... He's the next Angel Garza in the sense of he is in the cruiserweight division. By this time next year, he's on the main roster challenging for titles at pay-per-views.
Really?
That man.
His theme isn't amazing, but his entrance is good. I see what you mean. When the beat drops, the other two boys hop out.
Yeah, like if you were just listening to the theme on its own, you wouldn't think much, but it does work. Yeah, this Escobar won't be hanging around in the cruiserweight division for long.
You think? But Vince still like factions.
He's going straight to the moon like Cameron Grimes.
But Vince doesn't like factions.
He doesn't need to like factions. I don't think the other two will go with him.
Really?
I think Raul Mendoza is absolute money, but I don't think WWE see value in him. And I've never been too sold on Joaquin Wild, but that's just a personal thing.
I don't think really he's been in. I think if he goes to the main roster, he'll very much become an Andrade. Angel Garza's fair enough. He's kept his steam, but with Andrade in the past couple of weeks, I don't want to say he's lost steam, but he has become second fiddle to Angel Garza. And I feel because it's Vince, they'll go, "Ooh, he's a Mexican. Let's put him with the other Mexicans."
Yeah, which you'd hope wouldn't happen. But that's it. Escobar, Phantom Driver, got the win. Love it.
Yeah. Swerve Scott comes out, so at least we've got a feud as well.
That's been on 205 Live for a couple of weeks now. I know no one would know about.
Fandango and Breeze and Scott versus Legado del Fantasma. But then later on the match, we had Mia Yim defeating Indy Hartwell. Obviously, Mia Yim was probably very distracted by what happened to Keith Lee, but she still picks up the win. Fair enough.
I wasn't really watching. I think Mia Yim got the win in a reasonable amount of time. It wasn't a squash match.
No, I think Indy Hartwell. I've realised Mia Yim is the perfect person. If you wanted to get the win, fair enough. But when you put in a match, this other person can get a lot of offense in.
The other person tends to get over.
Yeah. Bronson Reed defeated Damien Priest. So both of these guys are obviously in the title ladder match at TakeOver. Bronson picks up the win. Really good match. Really good back and forth.
Damien Priest just makes me laugh.
I don't understand his gimmick. Is he just like a Lothario? Like
no, right. Ongoing in Raw, like Damien Priest is like their favourite wrestler because you just find him so amusing. Like they don't know whether he's a vampire or whether he's a person who owns women.
Yeah.
What is an Archer of Infamy?
I thought it was a pimp at first.
Why does he always look around when he's cutting his promos, and why does he always look like he's going to forget what he's going to say?
Why does he fire the arrow? Oh, I know he's the Archer, but
what? Yeah, when he gets in the ring and like the strobe lighting comes on, and he's doing the thing where he's doing like the horns and smacking them against the ground. It's like Damien Priest is so intriguing, and he's Baron Corbin 2.0.
Oh, I'm not having disrespect. Corbin is class.
No, that's not an insult. But are you trying to tell me that if Damien Priest were to go onto the main roster, he would not just be Baron Corbin?
Yeah, definitely, 100% he would.
But I do really like him. Bronson Reed's fine, but in terms of character, I feel like he's just a bit of a solid white meat babyface. Turn him heel and put him with Son and thing.
For me, Bronson Reed is a guy who will stay in NXT for a while, and eventually he will become a big guy on NXT. He just needs that good character flesh out, whereas I think Priest has already got that.
I think he'd be better heel.
Reed.
Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, Damien. Look, whenever Damien Priest's on, I'm never going to complain. There's so many characters in NXT that whenever they're on the TV, I just go yes. And in AEW at the moment, I feel like I don't get that with anybody.
For me, there's only 3.
What in
Kenny,
NXT?
Hangman, in AEW. Kenny, Hangman, and Jeff.
All right, okay.
Sometimes
I'm trying to think for me, but I don't really. MJF, I think, is one.
Yeah.
Sabi, although have you heard the
have you heard the rumors? I was going to bring this up.
Oh, gutted. I pray it's not him.
So
basically,
a bunch of spoilers went out for WWE TV, AEW TV, and then people said a statement came out like Meltzer said that AEW know who he is and they will never be appearing on the shows ever again. And he said it's a former WWE guy. And so, but it was what was Jericho's exact wording?
He said he just called him an NXT reject.
Yeah. And so the only two people it could have been was Sabe or who was
it says Albinoni. It says Albinoni. Sabe won't do such a thing. It doesn't matter that he's turned his Twitter private. It's
oh, for God's sake, has he?
It doesn't matter that he had one good match in AEW and has not been seen since. It says Albinoni.
Poor Sabe. Not poor Sabe, he brought it on himself.
Yeah. But how would he be a spy if he's been released? I don't get it.
Because you remember the AEW Dark has taped a lot before in it, so
no. Justice for Sabe. Sabe is innocent.
Justice for Sabe. He leaked TV.
Yeah, well, that Hindu share bloke did it for Keith Lee, and he's still got a job.
True. But he's actually contracted to the show.
What's he called? He's like got
he's got a full-time contract.
Yeah. Nonsense. Berjar out, Sabe in.
Mercedes Martinez and Aaliyah defeated Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. After the match, Martinez was beaten down. Ripley and Shotzi Blackheart. Ripley came out to get retribution from what Martinez did last week. She got beat up a bit. Aaliyah came out. Shotzi Blackheart came out to make the save. Shotzi Blackheart is strange because she is very entertaining. Like, I know people are like KD off all the other shows. He's a big fan of her. Like in the Battle Royale on SmackDown, he wanted her to win. Yet she's put in the crowd on some days. I'm like, you can't have her on NXT coming out to be that big savior, but then just put her in the crowd.
Look, man, they did it with Ridge Holland, and Ridge Holland's. I know there was that awful botch that supposedly happened, but Ridge Holland's video package this week.
What botch?
It's just great. Have you not heard it?
No.
So, in the Ridge Holland Gargano match that's airing this week, there was a bit of a. It might not have been a botch. It might have just been a simple accident. That's harsh to say for a botch, actually, because there's no rumor of that. But Gargano took a bump on his head. They had to stop the match, and they had to get like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, out everyone.
Oh wow!
To see whether he's okay. And Gargano, with the typical wrestler's mentality, said, "I'm all right," and he finished the match. But apparently, it was like really scary.
Oh shit!
Which is quite frustrating because I hope that's not used against Ridge Holland because his video package and his voice is very homely. And I just like it. He's just.
So I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a fatal four-way. I didn't know it was two single matches.
No, 2 singles matches.
That's made me worry now because, I mean, we'll talk about after the thingy. So the main event was the triple threat, the final like proper qualifier: Cameron Grimes versus Kushida versus a mystery opponent. Now, did you know who the mystery was going to be?
Yes.
I didn't have a clue who it was going to be because I presumed that Velveteen Dream was just going to be off TV because of all the allegations. I thought they were still going ahead. And then when he returned, I was like, oh, okay. The match happened. So Kushida had Dream in the hoverboard lock. But Cameron Grimes came in, snuck the win, the pin on Kushida while Dream was incapacitated. Grimes picks up the win. Great as a heel. Dream still gets his qualifying match against Finn Balor.
I've just got a text to respond. So if you could just sort of carry this one.
I think so. You've got the match takeover this weekend. So you've got, if I can remember, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, and then you're gonna have at least either Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, or Ridge Holland, and then you're gonna have Finn Balor or Velveteen Dream. It's gonna load up the NXT 30 card. Take over 30. There we go. So yeah, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, and either Johnny Gargano, Ridge Holland, and either Finn Balor or Velveteen Dream. Predictions, Simon, if you can.
Yeah.
First of all, who's winning out of Ridge Holland, Johnny Gargano?
John. It's always been the underdog in these matches, but there ain't no way Ridge Holland can beat John.
So in this, I thought the triple threat I thought it was going to be a triple threat. So I already had it all planned out. I was going to be Balor and Gargano have had this little mini feud with each other. They get into each other too much. Boom! Ridge Holland sneaks in, picks up the pin victory.
Well, I'd love to see it.
I think it'd be really nice to see not a youngster, but a guy who you haven't seen much just be thrust into the spotlight. I think Slither is biased from us. He's from Yorkshire.
I'd love to see it because obviously I watch like pay-per-views with a friend who only watches the big shows, so it's like I like
interesting.
I like to see almost how they react to these new guys. Actually, no, I'm not doing that because it's local lockdown. So no, sorry, I will not be.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it over Skype, so you can still get his natural reactions.
But I'd like Ridge Holland, but Johnny Gargano's work's been really good at the moment. Gargano's another one that I really look forward to watching.
Mm-hmm.
I've really underestimated NXT.
It's good, isn't it?
There was a period at the start of the lockdown era when I could not care less and I was so indifferent. And I don't really know what's happened, but I'm right back in.
Great, innit? Balor Dream. Who's winning that?
Finn.
It's
not a wise move to put Velveteen in there.
No, even like Triple H came out and said that we did a full investigation and it was fine. It's still not straight away. Let him just.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you do the last match?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say I've not watched Lyrical enough yet, but Cameron Grimes.
There you go.
Yeah. My Mount Rushmore of wrestling at the moment is Legado del Fantasma, Cameron Grimes, and the Swingman Johnny Swinger. On Damien Priest. Cameron Grimes, just his promos like that. There's something just funny, like the way he laughs, and when he says he's going straight to the moon, and then he's like hillbilly music hits.
That's it.
And
he's such a.
And he says,
so cocky.
He starts saying, I don't think he's just delusional. He starts talking to the title saying, "Me and you all got places to be." Oh,
he's mental. I think he's a genuine psychopath, but it's sort of with his character.
I have got the cheesiest grin on my face when he's on TV, and it saddens me that when he gets called up, he'll just take the Heath Slater role.
Oh, but you know what? Heath was
great. It'll be on 2 or 5, I think.
Yeah, for sure. We've finally got a comment. It's from my mate Christian. Hello, Christian. Hope you're good today. He's a former WWE fan, not a current one. Don't think I could ever get back into wrestling, which is the hardest thing.
I cannot stress that enough. Watch Impact Wrestling.
Don't watch Impact. But
you don't watch. I'm not even taking the piss. It is the best show.
Because it's the go home week of NXT. We've got this go home show on Wednesday. We're going to do predictions. First of all, the NXT North American ladder match. Who's winning?
Who's in it?
Who's winning?
Cameron Grimes. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't know who's in it, but it's Cameron Grimes. He's going straight to the moon.
I'm going Priest.
It's between Grimes and Priest, but I've had something pop up. It's between Grimes and Priest, but for me, I feel like if you look on social media, everyone's kind of clicking with Cameron Grimes at the same time.
Yeah.
In his words, it's Grime time.
Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai.
It's Io Shirai, innit?
Yeah, she needs
to win. I really like Dakota Kai, but it's not her.
No. Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee.
Adam Cole.
Pat McAfee. Roddy Strong's going to turn. Roddy Strong's someone's turning. Either someone's turning or there's going to be a distraction. Gronk comes back or something. No, maybe not Gronk. So there's going to be a distraction or something.
You're mental.
Trust me. Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross. Probably the toughest match to decide, really.
I do not have a clue.
Because you've got Karrion Kross, this big newcomer to the NXT roster, and he's been booked to the fucking moon. Like he is.
Right, I've got my answer.
He's top tier. Then you've got Keith Lee, a man who's just won the belt. He is still popular. He's still hot, but Karrion Kross. Who are you going for?
Karrion Kross.
Yeah, going for it. I'm going to have to go with Keith Lee, something different from you.
It
I
really
wouldn't be surprised.
No, it really harms Karrion Kross to lose his first big match. It doesn't harm Keith Lee because, well, it does, but Karrion Kross has been such a monster, and I feel like there's a bit of it. There's a story to be told in him chasing the title to get it back.
Yeah,
Because it's always better when the babyface is chasing, and
for sure.
also you can tell the story of 2 months ago he had one belt, he vacated one so there'd be more opportunity, and then he lost the other one at the first attempt, and now he's left with nothing.
I don't think he should get caught up. I'd love to see if he loses it, Keith Lee just goes full heel. He goes absolutely mental.
No.
But he's gone from the peak of his career to the lowest.
No.
No, and maybe it's not a thing. Maybe it's just a thing of his like blind rage, and it's not like a proper heel turn. But like he'll have a match with someone, and he'll just go over the top a little bit, and then he'll click out of it. He'll apologise and stuff, but he keeps on doing it just because Karrion Kross is living in his head rent free. Just giving you element to Keith Lee.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, but you've suggested far worse.
I have suggested far, far worse. Trust me, Pat McAfee's winning. Trust me. False suggestions, I have lost. Do you want to have a quick word about? We're going to change it up with your 205 and Impact.
Yeah, so sorry, on my phone again. Right, I'll start with 205. Joaquin Wilder Mendoza defeated Everrise. Yeah, cool. And Davari defeated Jake Atlas. I really like Jake Atlas, and he's got a really good theme song.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's not the measure of how good a wrestler is, but I really like Jake Atlas's theme. Do you know what it is?
No, never heard it.
It's kind of like dubstep.
Let's have a look. I'll have a listen while you talk.
Not what you'd expect for Jake Atlas, but it kind of works. And then on main event, I know you enjoy main events. Are you ready?
I do.
Riddick Moss defeated Titus O'Neil.
Oh, what a match!
Riddick Moss has got one of the worst finishes.
What is it?
It is a half-speed rolling neck breaker.
Oh, what a...
It's really bad. It's really bad because that man is pound for pound one of the best athletes this company has. He could do so much more.
He's such a big guy, just making the most of it.
And Shayna Baszler defeated Ruby Riott. Someone's coming down our driveway. I don't know who that is. Yeah, so, right, Impact Wrestling. Because I've been watching Impact now for a good 3 months consecutively. Not just because of the Slammiversary hype, because I've always enjoyed it to an extent. And this is the first week when I am solely going to cover Impact. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Willie, hence why the swingman Johnny Swinger. I think you find Johnny Swinger hilarious. Hence why he is the profile picture. So, Willie Mack versus Eric Young. It was just because Eric Young is like Randy Orton, basically, just evil. Like he single-handedly made Rick Swann retire. So there's a backstage brawl, and they fight through the Impact Zone. It's not called the Impact Zone anymore, but it's just the arena, innit? Willie Mack says, this is for what you did to sort of Rick Swann. The match finally gets underway after the big brawl at the start. But Eric Young managed to get the pile driver for the win. Eric Young's been booked strong, strong. He's probably going to be challenging for the title soon enough, because that makes sense, because Eddie Edwards has got the belt after he retained in the main event. Do you know who he retained?
Heath Slater.
No, he retained against the most professional wrestler.
The most professional? Who?
Brian Myers.
Ah, right, yeah.
That's what calling himself. He is the most professional wrestler. It's great.
I quite like Brian Myers.
He's
decent. He's decent.
Yeah. We had this week's installment of Wrestle House. Do you know what Wrestle House is?
Of course I don't.
It's basically all of the mid-carders in a Big Brother style house all living together. And it's really good.
Okay, that is good. I'll give you that.
It's so you've got I'll just read out Bleacher Reports thing because there's just so much going on in Wrestle House. It's split into like 3 segments.
Much like
I'm just let me see whether they've summed it up all in one segment.
Raw Underground.
Yeah, they have. No, it's all comedy. I'd advise
right.
Wrestle House.
I'm trying
It's
to
like
find
you've
it
got
now.
to see yourself and stuff. So they all sat down to watch Taya Valkyrie's greatest hits. Included in the match was her match against Rosemary. And in that match, Rosemary reunited with Crazy Steve.
I love Crazy Steve.
In another room, Cody Deaner was preparing Cousin Jake ahead of his date with Susie. Rosemary tried to get the attention of Larry D, and AC Romero took exception to the fact that Larry D was distracted. And this is a thing that happens in Wrestle House. So whenever there's a minor disagreement, Tommy Dreamer strolls in and shouts, "Match time!" And then they cut to a ring in the garden, and the 2 wrestlers are in the ring, and everyone's like banging them out on the outside. So Larry D knocked out AC Romero for the win. Cousin Jake and Susie, their date didn't go well as Sue Young emerged. Susie blamed Alicia Edwards for giving her bad advice. Tommy Dreamer appears and shouts, "Match time! It's Susie versus Alicia Edwards." This is all in one segment. And Susie got the win. And next week we've got Kylie Ray versus Taya Valkyrie. Johnny Swinger isn't mentioned in this, but if you look on the poster for Wrestle House, he's front and center. And
I've just tuned in. I found a clip.
He just throws in the most random, funny comments. Oh, basic. Do you know anything about him?
What? I'm currently watching it now. What
he just thinks he's an absolute ladies' man. And
yeah,
all the women hate him.
I saw him wrestling against a 70-year-old man.
Oh, Mike Jackson versus Johnny Swinger.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite matches in Impact history. It's great. Oh yeah, I'd watch as much wrestle. If I were you, I'd watch as much wrestle.
I'm currently looking at. I love the do you know, like when you on Big Brother when they go to the room and so they'd have this like segment of all meeting and then they'll cut to a camera clip of one of the guys saying, "Oh, I don't like him when I first met him, but being really nice." The fuck is this?
It's great. We had Jordan Grace versus Kimberly. It was all right. Jordan Grace got the win with, I think it was a spine buster. No, it was a sleep hold. My bad. She's not Arn Anderson. Next up, we had Locker Room Talk. You're going to love this. This is next on your list. Locker Room Talk with Madison Rayne.
Okay.
So, who are the guests on Locker Room Talk this week, seeing as Johnny Swinger is no longer guest host? Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes. The segment comes to an abrupt end when RVD and Katie Forbes begin making out on the sofa. Madison Rayne leaves, and the happy couple took turns to ask questions. All of a sudden, the lights go out, and Sami Callihan appears and starts attacking Rob Van Dam whilst he's still making out with Katie Forbes. You ruined it, shouts RVD, 1 week after a sneak attack by Rob Van Dam contributed to a loss against Eddie Edwards. But then Katie Forbes managed to help turn the tide and started laying the boots into Sami Callihan, and that was the end of the segment.
The fuck is happening in TNA?
Go and watch it. That's all I can say. Locker Room Talk, Madison Rayne. It was certainly something different.
It's just typical wackiness from.
The thing is with Impact, the good bits. I mean, the matches are really good, but on this show in particular, it was the skits. No DQ, Havoc and Nevaeh versus Tasha Steelz and Kira Hogan. I've not really taken too much notice of this, to be honest. It was an all right match. It was fine. Hogan and Steelz got the win. It was fine. It was a bit of a dip, but that's just me personally. But then the devil in the distance. It's the Good Brothers. Have you heard the Good Brothers, Steve?
No.
No. The devil's
if it's Impact, I haven't heard anything.
No, the devil's in the distance. That's all I've got to say. So the Good Brothers show up. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, there was a match between Desmond Xavier and Suicide, but that never really got going. Good Brothers hit the ring. and basically in the same way that the Undisputed Era did on NXT.
Right.
They call out Ace Austin and Madman Fulton, order them to the ring. Ace Austin comes out and says that, or he interrupts like on the screen, I think, and they're not in the arena. But next week, on night 1 of Impact's special event Emergence, it's the Good Brothers versus Ace Austin and Madman Fulton, and it's going to be really good.
Yeah. I know all 4 of them are, so I know it's going to be actually a half-decent match.
Yeah, Anderson and Gallows are cool. And then in the main event, Eddie Edwards had a bit of an open challenge. Yeah, Warren open challenge. And it was answered by the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. And what does that mean? It doesn't matter because it's Impact.
I'm about to say, what? Yeah.
Look, Impact can let anything slide for my liking. It's just the best.
Impact of fucking shithouses is what they
The
are.
match was really good. I think it went over TV time. There were a few near falls. But yeah, he got the win. There were a few near falls, but I don't think anyone ever thought Myers was going to get the win. It were a bit surprising because this was Brian Myers' debut. But yeah, Eddie Edwards, he's not the best. He's not the flashiest wrestler, but he's just solid as all. He's got a bit of credibility now, having knocked off Brian Myers, and I think he might have beat someone else. I think it's all Trey Miguel. That was it. Trey Miguel's the best. So I think we're building towards Eric Young versus Eddie Edwards at some point. But
that makes sense considering what's been going on with them.
For the next 2 weeks, it's like Fyter Fest. It's not a pay-per-view, but it's not a special event. It's Impact, Impact Emergence.
It's like a big weekly show.
Yeah, just let me. Yeah, and there's 2 nights of it. So I know I've gone on Impact for too long, but I'm just going to load up the card for this week because it looks really good.
I mean, I'll answer some questions. So, Ben Buzz said, "Hi lads, I still don't understand why Payback is 1 week after SummerSlam. There will literally be no build. There must be something special." I'm guessing it's the cat and the matches that are not going to make it on the main card. Do you know how we got 2 nights of SummerSlam? I think it's practically that. I think it's going to be like a Riddle.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of dirty finish.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I've got the card up now.
No, go on.
Okay. So for the 2 nights of Impact, on night 1, Heath and Rhino versus Reno Scum. So Heath is still trying to get a contract, I think.
Okay.
Sami Callihan versus Rob Van Dam.
Nice.
You know, got to watch out for that pesky Katie Forbes on the outside.
Yeah,
the match I'm most looking forward to by far. The North. Sorry?
I can't believe that Rob Van Dam is still on TV.
There we go, yeah. The North versus the Motor City Machine Guns. There you go. That's your match of the night.
That's going to be nice.
The titles. And then the main event of night 1 is, in fact, Eric Young versus Eddie Edwards. This is going to be immense. And then night 2, you've got TJP versus Chris Bay.
Okay.
EC3 versus Moose. Oh man, I've not even seen this card.
I love Moose.
EC3 versus Moose. Oh, he doesn't shout Moose anymore.
Moose. What? Fucking then.
Good Brothers versus Ace Austin and Madman Fulton.
That'd be nice.
And then the main event of night 2, Jordan Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo in the rematch. Honestly, Impact Emergence. Everyone's got to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think it's going to be as good as Slammiversary.
Really? Yeah, well, if the card does actually look good. So, we'll wait and see. Christian asked, who do you guys consider the worst current wrestler? The worst. I'm going to give you a minute to decide.
The worst current
Natalia.
wrestler. I'm going to limit it to WWE. No, it's not Natalia.
It is 100% Natalia.
It's... Oh, God, I don't want to be really harsh here. Oh, it would have been Gronk. No,
he's not a proper wrestler.
I'm going to do it kayfabe and say Bo Dallas.
No, it's Natalia. It's 100% Natalia.
No,
I don't understand how she's so loved. She's not got a character.
She does. She's an influencer. Have you not watched Raw?
I sigh every single time I see Natalia on my TV. I don't understand how she's. I don't understand how she's got a following. I know she's as influential with Lana, but I don't understand how she's got a following.
Oh,
I think that's just because I have a hatred for her.
I don't want to be terrible, but if we're on about, it might have to be Ariane Andrew.
Yeah, she's
just not.
And then yeah, and Bembo said, "Are you guys signed up for Thunderdome?" Oh wait, go
Chris Jericho can barely move.
True, yeah.
Am I signing up for
yes.
the Thunderdome? No, because I'm not going to watch really any of the shows live.
I saw someone said, "I'm going to sign up and then just have a sign that just says push Tamina."
Well, it depends. Well, it depends how much it costs. I might look into it.
So this could be the WWE time. That's Titus O'Neil versus Drew McIntyre. I beg, right, if Drew does an open challenge and it's answered by a mid-carder and they put him to the test.
Titus O'Neil isn't the guy. He's just taking a clean loss to Riddick Moss.
No, I love it because you get, what's it called? You get on thingy, what am I on about? I've lost it. When you do open challenges by the upper card, it's always answered by another person who's on his level or someone like who's got a mid card belt. It's never answered by someone who hasn't won anything, like Titus O'Neil, a fucking people who've on main event. It's always answered by someone. I'd just love to see one time that someone like Titus or Riddick Moss someone and come out and answer an open challenge by the big boy.
Yeah.
But we'll move on quickly to SmackDown. So we had
I'm gonna have a piss break.
That's fine. Yeah. So we had the triple brand battle royale. So Sasha and Bayley doing a typical thing, introing everyone all cocky and stuff. Basically, then Asuka comes out. She goes, "Wait, she's not in this match." Boom, Asuka comes out. So you had like Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox. So first of all, you Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Iconics got eliminated early. Bianca Belair was having a great standing. She threw Tamina out of the ring, like decimated her. Belair looked like she was going to really have a good showing. Tegan Knox sort of got the sneaky elimination, pulling down the ropes. Billy attempted to she tried to pull Asuka off the apron. She hit him with a sliding knee. Bayley tries to push her off, and Asuka lands on Sasha and Bayley, but lands on the back of Bayley's head, which just looks like it hurts. Then Bayley tries to lock Asuka in the Kurvina clutch, but Asuka uses sort of the leverage, pulls her over the ropes, and gets a second title opportunity at SummerSlam. Asuka getting 2 chances at SummerSlam. I suppose, what more do you want? I feel like not a waste of a card, but I do feel like you can have another SmackDown. No, it's SummerSlam.
Okay.
Asuka's got 2 matches.
Did you miss the first segment of Retribution Attack?
I realised it's not the thing, but I'm going to talk about it. But yeah, I was going to finish off this. Yeah, Asuka. I don't think Asuka should be in 2 matches.
I didn't really watch the Battle Royale, to be honest. I didn't even know she was in 2 matches. That's how much attention I was paying.
Well, no, she's in 2 matches at SummerSlam, because she won the title opportunity.
I had a look at the card this morning and still didn't realise.
Yeah. But the opening segment, you had Big E, John Morrison with the Miz on commentary, and the match starts off normally, and then Retribution come out and just attack Morrison and Big E. They decimate Big E's leg. We go backstage, and Big E's just sat there with a bunch of the roster, and then is it who comes out? It's not Drew. It's who is it? Jesus Christ. I can't think for the top of my head. Corbin. I think it's Corbin comes out. Biggie's tried to rile up, and Corbin comes out saying, and Biggie's like, we should rile up and attack Retribution, find them. Corbin goes, you should just be worrying about yourself, stuff like that. And anyway, the match is basically announced for later on. It will be Big E versus John Morrison. Retribution, then later on in the show, just tear up. So there's a match going on in the ring. I can't remember what match it is.
Versus Jomo.
Yeah. So that's later on. Never mind. Sheamus defeats Shorty G. I can't tell if Shorty G is still a heel or a face. At the start, he was a face.
I think he's a light heel. I think he's just a heel.
I think he's turning into a face. I think that's what they're going for.
Shorty G?
Yeah.
Because
he went and apologized. Has he? Last week he attacked Riddle.
Well, he's been heel for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so he's a heel.
Is he heel or does he just want that King's ransom? Because that wasn't an orchestrated attack this week.
True. I don't know. Exactly, we should know. Grand Metalik defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. Yay.
Yeah.
Big versus John Morrison, yeah. So, bunch of wrestlers. Go on, what have I missed?
Jeff Hardy interrupts the piss.
Oh, I forgot about the piss. So backstage, it's because it doesn't appear. The actual talking segments don't appear. Hardy. So backstage, AJ Styles talking to Joseph Parks, otherwise known as Abyss. I don't know what his degree name is being given.
It doesn't have one.
And he's AJ Styles. Basically, he's leading statistician, but whatever this title, it spells out piss.
Lol.
And I'll be honest, I did laugh. I was very sleep deprived, and it said piss, and I chuckled to myself. But yeah, AJ basically tries to say, we've developed this new thing to decide who faces AJ Styles, and he's got this big black sheet with a whiteboard. He pulls off the first name. It's AJ, obviously, the champion. And then he goes to reveal the other names. Of course, there's no one there because no one's on AJ's level. Hardy comes out and interrupts. He attacks AJ.
Was that a shot at the AW ranking system?
Yes, definitely. 100%.
Okay, cool.
I feel like it was. Hardy comes out and interrupts. There's a brawl. Hardy writes his name on the board. Hardy's got AJ next week, which I don't understand. So, I'm guessing shenanigans and them either SummerSlam or...
has he got it next week? I thought it was going to get added to SummerSlam.
So I know it's next week for some reason. I was thinking maybe shenanigans and payback. I don't know.
Mate, well, you've got to fill that payback card somehow.
You do. For some reason, you've decided to have it a week
after.
It's
worse by the fact that All Out is the week after. You wait 4 weeks for a pay-per-view, and then you get Impact Emergence, All Out, Takeover, SummerSlam, and Payback in the space of 3 weeks.
Then you had Big E and John Morrison. They eventually had the match, and basically a bunch of lumberjacks were outside the ring to protect the ring, so the match didn't get interrupted. So obviously, Retribution actually did the smart thing and went backstage and just tore everything up backstage. They locked a man in the toilet while they were having a poo. He decimated Drake Wirtz, the other referee. And so then eventually someone came to him and said, the backstage. So obviously, all the wrestlers ran backstage. So I was presuming Retribution would come out when everyone backstage. They didn't. Big E picks up the win against Jomo. But this was more about Retribution. And I quite like this by Retribution.
Yeah, I'm not too bothered because half the fun is trying to guess who's under the masks. Well, yeah. It's been reported that those under the masks are not the real Retribution. So what's the point?
I do like the segment.
That is because they don't know who's in it either.
Oh, yeah. But I genuinely do like the segments, like the attacking segments.
No.
For me, they are entertaining, in my opinion.
Did Michael Cole go? Could that be Retribution?
It could be Retribution, Michael.
Way.
I know. But we had the main event, the main event segment, which I really loved. So Alexa comes out, sort of just trying to speak to Braun, and then all of a sudden Braun's music hits. It's Skinhead Braun.
Smooth Braun.
It's Skinhead Braun. He shaved his head. He comes out looking like a psychopath, and Alexa's just talking to him. And Braun's cutting a promo at Alexa, but not looking at her. And then Alexa goes like, what were it? You said you didn't care about me. And then Braun, not even trying to look at her, says, no, I don't, but cutting a real... It was what I think is Braun's best promo. Such a good thing. Alexa was telling this perfect, say, just look at me. And then eventually...
I'm talking to you or else I'll slap you in the face.
Yeah. Braun eventually does look, doesn't say anything. Alexa just keeps on slapping him. Braun has enough, picks Alexa up above his arms, teasing to... I think he was trying to get the Fiend to come out, teasing to drop Alexa.
He was going to... I thought he was going to throw off the top rope. Like
so
he won the Rumble.
Yeah. He holds her up, and then he throws her in the air. Alexa drops. The lights go out. Alexa's in the ring holding her ribs. The Fiend stood over Alexa, sort of protecting her in a way. After, obviously, last week we saw that, Also, the week before we had the Fiend attacking Alexa. The week after that, we saw that Alexa held the Fiend's arm and stopped him. And so now this week, the Fiend's come to sort of protect because Braun has become incensed with the Fiend, and I loved it. This was one of my favorite something because Alexa was great as this, not as the like the typical woman, oh I'm scared, but in terms of she's worried about a friend and she's also pissed off about a friend. Braun was incredible, cutting the promo, not to the camera, not even speak to Alexa, just staring straight in one direction, incensed by the Fiend. Just this new element to his character, and then obviously the Fiend sort of coming out, showing a different side of him, showing that maybe Alexa holds some power over the Fiend. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I think you were more into it than I was. I simply enjoyed it. It got a thumbs up and nothing more. It was
Really?
it was a positive
I
move.
really enjoyed this.
I won't remember it in a month's time.
All right. Okay, we'll move on. We will move on to Raw though. Retribution crashed the production truck, so the show opened up with a bunch of stuff. But there was like Drew came out and started cutting a promo, but images were flashing up. Then now and then thing was all jumbled. Images kept on popping up. Eventually, they got a camera backstage, and it was Retribution holding the TV crew hostage. They started beating them up as soon as the cameras got there, surprisingly, and then they just cut the screen black, went to advert break. I don't think this was as good as SmackDown, but you need Retribution on the show. I was so hoping this was going to end up with Retribution burning down destroying the Performance Center. Obviously, they're moving to the Amway Center. So why not have an actual excuse with Retribution just wrecking it all so that it's unusable and they have to go to the Amway Center? But yeah.
Yeah, I skimmed over Raw. Bleach Report have given it a D.
Yeah, it wasn't amazing, but I think
Not
you've
great.
got to have them on. You've just got to have them on the show. That's all. It wasn't the best Retribution segment.
Yeah. At this point, I feel like I'm going into a show thinking, oh, I wonder what they'll do this time as like the token Retribution gesture.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had Apollo Crews defeating Shelton Benjamin. It picks him up. He eventually gets the win. Because R-Truth and Akira Tozawa are chasing. Well, Akira Tozawa is chasing R-Truth through the Performance Center. He runs through the ring. Crews roll up Shelton for the thingy. And so that his battle with MVP at SummerSlam is a 1-on-1. After the bell, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, and Mustafa Ali came in. So Lashley and Benjamin and MVP immediately attacked Apollo. Then Les came in to make the save. After the Raw split up, R-Truth's running out. Gets absolutely decimated by Shelton Benjamin.
Sorry.
And then pinned.
Go on. This is really off topic, but I just forgot we didn't mention the big return on SmackDown.
Go on.
Kalisto.
Oh yeah.
He's Kalisto looking ripped.
Yeah, he's had a good quarantine, hasn't he?
That man has been gone for 8 months, working out every day, and he's ready to just fade into mid-card obscurity with the Lucha House Party, to put it, and it'll all go to waste.
I think Kalisto had a singles match at WrestleMania. He was in the kickoff against Ryback, but
yeah. Welcome back, Kalisto. I think a lot of people are really harsh on him.
I quite like him.
Oh, I thought you didn't. Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm all right with Kalisto. Angel Garza defeated Ivar. So we had a backstage segment with Debbie Burnett again. What? I quite like it. Yeah, she's been invited by Angel Garza and stuff, and Ivar. So she's talking to Angel Garza. Ivar comes along, starts flirting with Demi. And she offers him a turkey leg, saying, "Can you be my +1?" And she goes, "Okay." Angel gets a bit pissed off. They end up having a match later on in the show. Angel just pick up the win. That's fine enough. And then basically, Angelo Dawkins is backstage talking to Demi and deciding us. And he was flirting with her, I'd say. And I was watching it with Kieran L. And it was, "Oh no, Angelo's got a family." I went really in real life. I went, yeah, he's got a wife and kids. I went, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm happy with Angel Garza and Ivar. I don't think they've got. It's not known. Luckily, as it went on, it's sort of fine. So Angela says, "Oh, but I've got this video that I found with," and so Selena Vega goes up to Samoa Joe. 'Cause Samoa Joe's sort of the inside guy, and sort of asks, "What's this about?" And Joe goes, "Well, because obviously all the retribution attacks, they've had to go through all the footage, and they found some footage. So I've used my insights, and I've got that footage, and I possibly shared it around all the wrestlers. So obviously Vega is pissed off. We go backstage, and they confront Angelo Dawkins, and Angelo goes, "What? Oh no, I weren't. No, I was just getting Demi's number so I could show her the video." Selena was still pissed off. What's the video? Angelo calls for his boy in the production to go play it. Selena Vega, she's poisoned Montez. Ah, who would have seen it coming? Who would have seen it coming?
Oh, no one would have seen it coming because that's the entire point. You'll never see it coming.
See it coming. So he comes back with
what won't I see coming? It doesn't matter. I'll just never see it coming.
Angel Garza and Andrade were great in this. Andrade was just a bit shocked, but Angel Garza was perfect in this. His face was just in pure bemusement. And then all of a sudden you see Montez Ford flying past the camera. Which
shock horror, Angel Garza is awesome.
Yeah. This is what I don't like. Natalia defeated Mickey James via count out. We talked about the AEW really neglected thing. This match was neglected. So the match happens, is going on, fair enough. And then Seth and Murphy come out, and Seth is just stood talking to Samoa Joe as the match is going on in the background.
Yeah.
And the finish happens. Mickey James gets thrown pushed off out of the ring, and she's out of the count for the 10 count. Meanwhile, Seth is just still in a debate with Samoa Joe. I was like, wow, way to really ruin Mickey James's return.
Yeah, as someone said on Twitter, this was us here. Mickey James has been out for like 16 months, and this is her first match back. You wouldn't have two women interrupt the blokes segment, would you? No. It just reeked of 2010.
Yeah.
Oh, Mickey James. I think Mickey James deserves better.
She does.
Natalia deserves better because she's reinvented herself.
I don't like her. She's trying something new.
Yeah, it's the most interesting she's been, and it really suits Lana.
It's just
this really potential is quite good. And it's not like what Rollins and Samoa Joe did was bad. It was him at the wrong time. Do it in 24/7 nonsense.
Asuka and Shayna Baszler defeated Sasha Banks and Bayley. Shayna locked the Crusader clutch on Bayley. As Mara taps Sasha Banks in the Asuka lock. So it's Asuka's chance to win, become a double champion. At SummerSlam, Peyton Royce defeated Ruby Riott. It all makes sense. It's sort of the Riott Squad to still have some more work to do. But we got to the third hour, which meant it was time for Raw Underground. So Eric was in the ring, beefing off a guy. I thought he was facing Dolph Ziggler initially, and then it cut to a thing of Dolph Ziggler talking to Shane McMahon. So I watched him with no sound. Eric's win did not impress Dolph Ziggler. The Viking Raiders then called out Ziggler. Ziggler accepted. Ziggler emerged victorious after locking in a sleep hold, using a thumb into Eric's eye. And then Ivar came in and threw Ziggler off the ring into the crowd. Fair enough. I think I like that. Ivar's Eric's on the show with some MMA. Ziggler's using his wrestling experience. Fair enough.
Yeah. At least it was. We said, are we going to get proper matches between established people? Yep. Here they are. Oh, I asked for it and I got it.
Yeah. Rey and Dominic fought Seth Rollins and Murphy with kendo sticks. So Rey Mysterio and Dominic come out. Then Seth comes out and saying that the Mysterio family would be the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. Mysterio's called out Rollins and Murphy to back up their words, and they got the wish. Rollins and Murphy thought they had the upper hand giving Rey's recovery, but the Mysterios had other plans to unleash a kendo stick of their own, giving Seth a taste of his own medicine. So absolutely thwacking him with kendo sticks. Murphy just eventually has to run off into the distance. Seth's on top of the ramp. I'm looking forward to the Dominic Seth match. I really am.
Yeah, I was. When I saw it was a street fight, I breathed a sigh of relief.
Yeah,
because that's what it should be.
And what a debut match for Dominic in a fucking street fight.
Yeah, quite. Fair enough.
We're back at Raw Underground though with Riddick Moss and Arturo Ruas. Basically attacked each other, got out the ring, and sort of leaving sort of a feud. I mean, a feud on Raw Underground because it sort of just ends. But if that makes sense.
Sorry, where are we?
Arturo Ruas and Riddick Moss.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, they have a scrap. I can't remember who wins. Is this the bit when Nia Jax walks in? It's not
No, that's after.
Why did Nia Jax
Arturo Ruas just keep on brawling outside the ring and keep on going, and then it ends. So just continuing a little bit. You know what? We asked for a feud with wrestlers. We've got it.
Here we go. Again. But I didn't like Raw Underground this week because it felt too much like Shane McMahon just jumping up and down and going, oh, and there's been no progression. What are they fighting for? Yeah. Why is everyone so excited?
True, very true.
Why does it just end? As soon as the TV time runs out, the Shane just go, right, everybody, we're done.
Yeah, I know what
you mean. Wrap it up, guys. Set the ring down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Don't like it.
Hurt Business defeated Apollo Crews, Mustafa Ali, and Ricochet in a 6-man elimination tag team match.
Yeah, you've hit on a bit, haven't you?
I'm just going through what's happened on
the
Raw
thing. Did you do Riot and Royce?
Yeah, I skimmed over that.
Oh, I evidently wasn't listening.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. Yeah, I said that it's all about the Riot Squad trying to get back until working together.
Who cares about the Riot Squad when the Iconics are winning matches? Didn't Mustafa Ali get eliminated first here?
Lash eliminated Mustafa Ali with a Dominator. Benjamin sending Ricochet back and paid it. Apollo Crews up against the wall. He was able to pin Benjamin after the powerbomb. And then Benjamin also did get pinned by Cedric Alexander, rode him up at ringside for the 24/7 championship. Then Crews finally eliminated MVP, escaped for Lashley, but was stopped by a spear from Lashley. And then we had, it all makes sense going into SummerSlam for the Apollo Crews MVP match. Cedric defeated Akira Tozawa. Sean Benjamin defeated Cedric Alexander. So Cedric Alexander got a quick lesson what being 24/7 champion is all about. Despite fighting off Akira Tozawa and his ninjas to retain the title, Cedric's reign lasted mere minutes as Shelton used 24/7 rules to his advantage and connected with Payday to reclaim the title. Fair enough, 24/7 shenanigans. Raw Underground again. Shayna Baszler brought training partners Marina Shafir and Jasmine Duke to Raw Underground to show their MMA skills off in Shane McMahon's lawless battleground. It was Marina Shafir, Raw Underground, so Shafir made the most of her opportunity, twisting her opponent to painful pretzel to get the win. Celebration cut short as Nia Jax arrived and blindsided Marina Shafir, knee Duke in the face. Baszler leapt into the ring ready to throw down, but Nia Jax just left. What did you think?
I didn't think anything because I'd shrug of the shoulders.
It's Nia. I hate her with a passion. I hate her more than Natalya.
Why?
And I know that's bad. There's something about Nia. At least you've swayed me with like Natalya and sort of saying how she's having a gimmick change.
Right.
Nia Jax, I don't think she's entertaining at all in the ring. In my
opinion. If you follow Natalya on socials, you can see that she actually does put in an effort to get her new characters over.
Yeah.
Whereas I've never seen anything interesting from Nia Jax on social media.
Then you've got Nia Jax in ring. I don't think she's up to standard. We've obviously we all know the problems that she has with injuring people, but in terms of just entertainment, for me, she's not entertaining. I feel like I'm bashing Nia too much, but I don't care. I think the only reason that she got moderate push, like that WrestleMania push against Alexa, was because of the bullying storyline. I think if that was a normal one-on-one, she wouldn't have had the match. I think the reason she also does get a bit of love is because she's a member. She's related to The Rock. If she wasn't related to Rock, she'd just be another Samoan. Just stop me when it gets probably too much. I think that she's very unsafe in the ring. She's not an entertaining character. I don't tune in every week and think, oh, wow, yes, I can't wait to see Nia Jax. I tune in and think, I hope Nia Jax isn't on the show.
I think my main problem is, apart from the whole injury and stuff, and then she sort of incorporated it as part of her character, which sort of put me off a bit, it's the fact that no one gets in the ring with Nia Jax and comes out looking better.
No.
Because she doesn't sell.
No. Like, she's a big woman. And, like, that's fine. It's a great gimmick, but you've got to, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't sell. I think that's it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Nia.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the list of inactive wrestlers currently. Do you think Rusev's really retired?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a gimmick thing that he's doing. And also, I think he's just enjoyed streaming on Twitch for a bit.
Fair enough.
I think because obviously with all the COVID stuff as well, I was very surprised that Lana was on TV. Considering, obviously, I know that they're probably not been in contact, but with her parents having COVID, you would have thought that she would have just wanted to play it safe. Let's say if they do heal, that she can go see them.
Yeah. I really hope Rusev hasn't retired.
I don't think he has. I think, in my opinion, I think it's a gimmick thing.
I really hope Jason Jordan hasn't either, because he's also on that list.
I think Jordan's retired.
But do you not think it's weird that he's still not announced anything?
I think it's like Tyson Kidd. Obviously, Tyson Kidd announced it, but I think Jordan is still holding out hope.
Okay. I really hope he comes
He's
back.
already in that backstage role.
I think that's just to pass the time. To get him a bit of experience on the shelf. I'm clinging on to the hope that he'd have said something by now.
Because I like Jason Jordan. I've looked back at, when he was Kurt Angle's, and I think, he really did try his best with that gimmick. And he made the most of it. He was in the Royal Rumble, in twice. No, not twice. He was on he had a match at the Rumble, the second biggest pay-per-view. Not many people can say that, really.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just off topic, but yeah.
No, it's fine. Montez Ford defeated Andrade in return to the ring after being poisoned. Sort of distraction, Ford roll up. Main event. So I watched this program, and I haven't had a chance to watch it back, but I watched it in without the audio, so I don't actually know what Sean said, but I just saw everything that happened. But I'll just read the description that we've given it. 1 week removed from Randy Orton's heinous attack on Ric Flair, WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels came to Raw to chastise the Viper for his actions and put his full support behind Drew in the championship match at SummerSlam. HBK said they all would not see it coming. What Michaels did not see coming was the Legend Killer, who dropped him with an RKO, then subjected him to the same fate as Ric Flair, ruthlessly punting him. McIntyre arrived and unleashed his rage on the Viper, pummeling him around ringside before hurling him over the announcer's desk. That was enough. So then Drew gets back in the ring. He thinks it's all safe. Orton sneaks in, RKO. I think this was a very weak go home.
Oh, okay. I didn't listen to what Shawn Michaels had to say. I just saw Randy Orton head down, laces through it.
Yeah.
And that was the end of Raw.
I think it's a very weak go home show. You had all the titles promoted that were going to be on the show, which I liked. But if you were someone who wasn't definitely going to watch SummerSlam, but you were going to tune into Raw to see if I might purchase it, that show probably wouldn't have made me want to purchase it. In my opinion.
Yeah, and in that sense, I guess it didn't really do its job.
No. Same with SmackDown. SmackDown obviously got the go home show, and NXT got the go home show. But yeah, that Raw didn't really hype up. I'm hoping that NXT and SummerSlam can hype up the weekend. SmackDown, sorry. But do you want to do? We'll do our SummerSlam predictions.
Yeah, can do. I'm sorry. I'm still looking into Jason Jordan.
For God's sake! Right, it's an 8-match card. So we've got the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Gads for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Street Profits.
Yeah, Street Profits. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
everything's telling me to go with Drew, but everything's telling me to go with Randy, but
The money is in Drew getting it back at the first pay-per-view with fans.
Yep, Randy, thank you. It's my decision. Apollo versus MVP.
Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo, same. Dominic versus Seth. Obviously, Ray and Murphy with them. Dominic versus Seth.
Seth.
I think I'm going to go Dominic. No. Yeah, I'll go Dominic for a surprise win. Sasha versus Asuka. Sam?
Yeah, sorry.
How are you thinking?
Yeah. Asuka.
Asuka, okay. Sasha, Bailey versus Asuka.
Bailey.
Asuka. I've gone for Asuka for both.
Ah.
Double champ. And then Bailey and Sasha don't have to appear on both shows. You can both go to SmackDown and stuff like that. Braun versus The Fiend.
It's The Fiend.
Braun by DQ.
No.
I don't want The Fiend to get the belt.
But then what's the point?
Because I don't know, but if The Fiend gets the belt, you can't book him to lose, and it's WWE, they will book him to lose again.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the fact he's in, but you get around that situation by not putting him in the match in the first place. Now he is in the match. You've got to go with it.
I'm gonna go Braun by DQ.
Otherwise they pissed away 3.
Exactly, yes, but it's WWE.
Is it just a singles match?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's still Bray.
And then finally, Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville in a hair versus hair match.
Mandy Rose.
Although we did talk about this about it. I don't know. I'm trying to think
who'd look. He's not going bald.
I'm trying to think who would suit bald.
Modelling career.
Yeah, you could be bald and have a modelling career.
Yeah, but think about who'd look better with a shaven head.
Wow.
It's Sonya Deville.
It is Sonya. Yeah, it's Mandy winning in it.
Sonya should win the match if there wasn't hair versus hair on the line, but it's Mandy.
I'm really looking forward to it, you know.
Vince loves Mandy. And he'll have
He does.
You can't have Otis with a bald Mandy.
I'd like it. Right. But we'll move on to the main event. So normally I have a quiz or something. This week, quite simple. It's a simple question. Who's your MVP of 2020 so far? So there's a SummerSlam for me always marks halfway through the year. Even though it's not. It always marks halfway.
I don't know. You've got a lot of names, haven't you? You've got Randy Orton, Hangman Page, Asuka, but it's probably got to be Johnny Swinger.
Yeah, Johnny Swinger is the MVP. You know.
No, you'd be hard. You'd be hard pressed to look past Randy Orton.
Really? Yeah. I think Orton is definitely, for me, it's Seth. I've tuned into every Raw since the heel turn, just to see Seth.
Yeah.
I think Drew's up there as well, obviously from the Rumble win. But for me, Seth. I probably should have changed questions to MVP of really lockdown, because I don't really remember much or after Mania. But for me, Seth, he didn't have the best start in 2020, but since his Messiah gimmick, perfect for him.
I think he's done really well, and I think he's done the best he can with it. But Randy Orton has been given a complete new lease of life.
I think Orton since lockdown has been definitely. Orton's such a good shout just because of everything he's done has created headlines. In terms of
Asuka, Sasha, and Bailey as a 3 have carried that women's division in the absence of its 3 biggest stars. So we'd be doing them a huge disservice not to mention them.
I'm trying to think in terms of lower cards. MVP is definitely there.
MVP. Have you watched Raw Talk?
No, I haven't watched it this week.
MVP was outstanding.
Was it?
And it's worth watching because with this whole Seth Rollins Samoa Joe thing on Raw Talk, Samoa Joe really doesn't say much, and he sides with the heels.
Ooh.
I think he's gearing up for a return.
I wanted to Samoa Joe MVP as well, by the way.
Yeah, if you watch Raw Talk with what I've just said in your mind, I think Samoa Joe's on his way back.
One thing that Samoa Joe, since he's come on commentary, that Raw commentary team has been so entertaining because you've got Tom trying to be this professional broadcaster. You've got Byron, so him and Byron's relationship works well. They can have the joke with each other, and then adding Samoa Joe in, bringing that sort of in-ring expertise. You've obviously got Byron, who used to be a wrestler, but it's Samoa Joe, and I'd be very sad when he leaves that Raw thing. Also, big thing, Vic Joseph, I think, is part of the NXT broadcasting team now, while Nigel McGuinness is still in England and furloughed, I think. So yeah.
Oh, I miss Nigel McGuinness.
He's so good, isn't he? But this week we've got some big stuff for wrestling. I don't have much of my normal thing, but so tomorrow we've got NXT and Dynamite go home show for NXT. We've got on Friday, on Wednesday.
We don't have Dynamite tomorrow.
That's what I said. I meant Wednesday.
Yeah,
we don't. Yeah, it's on Saturday because of the NBA schedules. I forgot about that. I really did. Yeah, that's going to put. In fairness, I think it's all before the Wednesday after. We're all right, but yeah, all the Dynamites are being moved in around to fit the NBA playoff schedules. I think it's Saturday, isn't it? Is it Saturday?
Yeah, it must be before Takeover.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Saturday, we've got NXT TakeOver 30, the big boy. Some good matches on that card. On Sunday, we've got SummerSlam, and then we've had the Raw after SummerSlam also. But it's not just it. That's it for the obviously wrestling content. But on the YouTube channel, on the Sports Corner YouTube channel, on Mondays, we've got Taylor and Raphael. Yesterday, they did the championship predictions with Josh, obviously Josh being a Rotherham fan, to see where he thought his team was going to finish. Obviously, Tuesday, you got me and Simon every week at 11:30. We're the only consistent podcast on this channel at 11:30 a.m. where we talk all things wrestling. Then Wednesdays, we usually have the Top Corner podcast. We'll be back very soon. Same with the NFL Corner on Thursday and Friday. On this Sunday, nope, nothing this Sunday. We've got watch-alongs, though. So obviously, we've been doing Europa League watch-alongs. Yes, tonight we have the Champions League Atalanta versus PSG watch along with Josh and KL, and then the day after is Leipzig versus. No, it's not. It's Atalanta. It's PSG Leipzig tonight. No, it's not. I forgot the matches.
I just rock up on the night.
Yeah, it's Leipzig versus PSG tonight. That'll be Josh and KL, and then it's Lyon versus Bayern Munich on Wednesday with me and KD. We've got a break on Thursday. Then on Friday, we're back again for the Europa League final. We're all going to be on that. So training for that, that'll be at around 7:45 on Friday. And then on Saturday, there is nothing. And then on the Sunday, it's the big boy. It's the Champions League final. We've really enjoyed doing the coverage. And we might get an all-German final. We might get an all-French final. It'll be very interesting to see.
Joe Hart signed for Spurs.
Is he officially signed?
Yeah.
Jesus. Fair play to him. Fair play to Joe Hart. But that's been the Wrestling Corner. Thank you very much, Simon, for joining me today.
Yeah, it's been all right. I might as well just not be here and just cover Impact.
You've become an Impact fan channel.
To be honest, I might as well. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, tomorrow I can't wait.
But next week, we'll be back with everything. It's going to be a bumper episode, so don't forget to tune into that 11:30 a.m. Thank you very much for watching us, and we'll see you next week. Peace.